There was once a time where Bungie were the kings of PvP. Unfortunately, they seem to have drifted further away from that title over the course of Destiny's 10 plus years. And I'm not going to get into all of the issues with Destiny's PvP over its lifespan because there's a ton of videos about that already. Instead, I wanted to shine a light on an awesome new PvP mode that was introduced with the recent Halloween event in Destiny 2. This mode is called Red Rumble. It is basically free-for-all but with an interesting twist. While you are fighting other players, a giant Headless One is patrolling the map ready to take you on as well. This is a first for Destiny in that there is a small PvE element introduced to a PvP game mode. Yes, we have Gambit, but that is a PvE first mode with a hint of PvP sprinkled in. This feels completely different, and more importantly, fresh and fun. You'll be going around slaying some guardians when all of a sudden this giant pumpkin-headed freak pops up and starts slinging grenades and shots at you. It is an intriguing mechanic because this enemy can essentially lock down a portion of a PvP map, which can force players to approach their routes and engagements completely differently. Somebody's favorite lane could be compromised and blocked by this giant monstrosity, and it really adds a neat dynamic to your match. I also noticed myself and other players were playing a lot more cautiously and stealthily as to avoid attention from this behemoth. Now, if that was all there was to this mode, it would be pretty interesting, but what takes this mode from neat to awesome is the fact that you can engage with this enemy, and doing so can drastically change the pace of the match. Damaging the Headless One can cause him to drop a bunch of different items. He can drop heavy and special ammo, pumpkin charges which can be thrown for an insta-kill if it connects with somebody, a scythe you can wield, and even like a mote that can drop and can be picked up for a point. And whoever lands the final killing blow on the Headless One also gets a bunch of points as well. But he is pretty tough, so while you'll be going into this with a PvP loadout likely, don't forget to leave a little room for some PvE DPS checking. So you are actually incentivized to engage with this Headless One in addition to fighting other guardians. You could be doing terrible, pop a few shots at the big guy, pick up a few motes for some points, and even some heavy ammo which can help you turn the tides against your opponents. You can temporarily team up with randoms to help take on the Headless One. You can even use him as bait to sneak attack other players who are coming after him. There are just so many possibilities to change the flow of the game with this simple addition like adding an enemy into the fold. I honestly haven't been this addicted to a crucible game type in quite a while, and a bonus fact, you can load into this free-for-all mode with your friends as well, which is just icing on the cake. Honestly, this is exactly what Destiny needs right now. It seems like Crucible has been pretty stagnant over the years, but these weird modes that challenge what we're used to are such a breath of fresh air. I love game modes like Relic, Sparrow Control, and even Tribute. And I know a lot of die-hard Crucible players only like Control and Clash, but if Destiny were to ever get a revival in interest, having these wacky game modes is exactly what this game needs. In Halo, these modes were what kept people coming back. So I really hope that Bungie continues experimenting with strange modes like this in the future and adding more PvE elements into PvP. And no, I'm not talking about all PvP. There can still be Trials of Osiris and Iron Banner and those dedicated modes that are strictly, what people are used to. But just mixing it up with more social, casual gameplay and silly modes would do wonders for the Crucible and its population. Forcing certain loadouts or modifiers for some game types, adding a big team battle back in the game, and yes, they have already had community tests for an 8v8 Sparrow Control, so don't shoot down that idea yet. There's just so many possibilities, and I really hope they keep up good ideas like this to keep the Crucible feeling more fresh and social. PvP should be the area everyone gravitates to when the PvE content runs dry, just like it always has, dating as far back as the Halo days. You finished the campaign, you went to PvP, and that held you over forever. But the Crucible and Destiny has had such a negative rap that it just has to change. Obviously, there's issues with cheaters and just making sure that PvP is rewarding, but just adding more silly game types like this and Relic and Heavy Metal helps the Crucible look a little more enticing to the casual player. So I just wanted to give Bungie some props on taking a risk with this mode. It is fresh, it is fun, and we would definitely like to see more things like it in the future. Thank you for watching.